Hello and welcome everyone. So thank you for connecting with us from India and Bangladesh, and we really appreciate that you are giving your time for us for this webinar. So my name is Suallen Borges and I'm working as a senior QA analyst for SJ Innovation, and we are pleased to welcome you. Now, many of you, okay, first of all, regarding the queries, if you all have any queries or anything, then please send your queries to our chat. We will make sure that we will answer all your queries. And if we are not able to answer any of your questions, then we will make sure that we follow up with your queries after the event. Okay. So many of you all will be having a lot of queries like what is software testing, why it is important, how I will grow in my career, whether it is worth joining software testing or not. So I am not here to convince you all to pursue software testing as your career. That decision will be best taken by you. But I'm here to introduce you to the field of software testing, to introduce you the roles which are played by QA, the challenges faced, and to help you with your queries. Okay. So some of the topics which we are going to cover for this session are what is software testing, role of a QA, manual versus automation testing, a few important tools which will be used by a software tester, and mobile versus web application testing. So now, what is software testing? So software testing is basically a process to find bugs, to check whether your actual product meets the end user requirements. It is a it is a kind of a method wherein you see if there are any defects present in the product, if there are any missing gaps, or if there are any improvements which can be provided for the software. So software testing is broadly classified into two main categories. One is functional and the second is non-functional. Now, functional testing is wherein you check for the functionality of the application, and you make sure that if there are any issues and all, then those issues are resolved. So some of the types of testing which comes under functional testing are unit testing, integration testing, system testing, regression, and user acceptance testing. Then non-functional testing is something wherein you see the performance of the application. So it is done mostly to check how the application will behave when there is a load which is put on the application. So some types of testing which are performed under non-functional are performance testing, load testing, recovery testing, and localization. So these are just a few types of testing which I have named. If you all go and search on the internet, there are like a lot of different types of testings which are available. So I'll share my screen with you all. So what do you think is the role of a QA? So as a QA, it is not just that our role is to test the application and report the bugs. No, a QA plays a very important role in software development and right from the beginning. So, a software tester is involved right in the beginning in designing the test suits. Then, because until and unless the software tester doesn't have a thorough knowledge about the application they are going to test, they will not be able to design the test suits. Then, apart from designing the test suits, a software tester is also responsible to run the to run the software on different platforms. They are supposed to record the defects, follow up with the defects, and retest the issues. They also have to maintain technical documentation so that later, whenever they need to refer anything, they have the documents ready. Apart from this, software tester also helps the developer with the designing process. So uh, for a software tester, it's very important that they have a very good understanding of the system so that they can provide suggestions to improve the product, or they can even see what shortcoms or what issues might rise up when the product is developed. Okay, going to the next slide is okay. Before I go to manual testing, now as a software, what is your role going to be? So when you join as a fresher, it is not that you will be involved in all these activities directly. No, there will be you all will be involved phase wise. So initially, you all will be mostly involved into testing the application, executing the test cases, recording the bugs. So once you are comfortable in these areas, you will be moved further wherein you will have to design the test cases, you will have to design the test suits, write the test cases. Once this is done, then comes the senior QA. So what is the role of a senior QA? So a senior QA is mostly involved with the development team wherein they discuss with the developers, they have a client meeting, they gather the requirements, they they have the meeting with the owner and they try to understand the requirements, and if there are any issues and all which are there, they are the ones who follow up. Then comes the QA lead. So the QA lead is mostly involved in managing the teams, managing the client meetings, any technical issues if they are present, they are the ones who help us with this. So moving to the next slide, that is manual versus automation testing. So uh, now everyone must be aware, like about these two types of testing, and we have a mentality that okay, manual testing is not needed anymore. Okay, so let's see like what each of this testing does. Now, manual testing is something wherein you manually execute the test cases which are written and you report the bugs. Whereas automation testing is again you execute the test cases, but these test cases are executed with the help of tools and scripts. So again, if your scripts are not written properly, then there are chances that your testing will fail and you will not come to know where the issues are. Okay, the second point is strengths and weaknesses. Now, each of these, they have their own strengths and weaknesses. Now, coming to manual testing is slow and it is very tedious, especially when it comes to checking for the repetitive task. It takes a lot of time. But at the same time, manual testing is very helpful when it comes to testing some complex application. Whereas automation testing is very helpful when it comes to checking for some repetitive task, or some if you want to check for some test cases which have a different set of data. So in these cases, automation testing helps a lot. It also helps you to reduce the efforts which are put by manual testing, wherein it saves time to concentrate on the major activities. So, looking at both the strengths and weaknesses which each of these have, When are we supposed to use automation testing and when are we supposed to use manual testing? So this is very important because we need to understand that it is not possible to automate everything. So automation testing is done to reduce repetitive tasks or to automate the test scripts which will consume a lot of time, which needs different sets of data. And also if there are any test cases wherein you feel like, okay, this is the place wherein there can be human errors, so those are the areas which we can automate. Whereas manual testing, it allows, it is mostly, as I mentioned, it is helpful when it comes to complex tasks. Also, if you want the product to be, if the goal of your product is to focus on a better user interface or to get some commands or customer experience, then this is where manual testing is very helpful. Then can automation testing replace manual testing? No, it cannot replace manual testing, but yes, automation testing is, they are supposed to go hand to hand because manual testing focuses like, they are supposed to go hand in hand because when you are doing manual testing, you can focus on the complex task and you can write automation scripts to check for some of the repeated tasks. So when you are involve both the things, it really helps a software tester to do their job very efficiently. Now, okay, now again, I'll just go like, a little further in what scenarios you all are going to use automation and what scenarios we can consider manual testing. So if say a application is already developed and there are like, some modules which are stable and you know that they are not going to change frequently, then those are the modules which can be considered for automation testing. Also, there can be some modules, which are in development. So my suggestion will be don't go for automating those modules because they are still under development. Let the development be completed. Let that module be stable first and then go to automate that particular module. Then there will be, test cases which wherein you have to check for different parameters. There again, you can consider those test cases to be automated. Also, if you want to check your application on different platforms, different devices, automation testing is the best for those kind of scenarios. Now, automation testing, the different types of testing which we can consider for automation are regression testing, load testing, performance. Whereas for manual testing, uh, it's suppose if you want to do exploratory testing or usability testing. So this is not something, which we should automate because they can be best covered by doing manual testing. Okay, here are some of the tools which every software tester is supposed to know. It's not that you have to know everything, but it really makes life helpful for a software tester if you know these tools. Now, for test management and bug tracking. So this is something, which every tester, whoever enters as a junior, they are supposed to know about it, like how it works. Now, test management is something wherein we write the test cases, we create the test suites, and we try to, organize them. So in such cases, there are tools like TestLink, Xray, which are very helpful. Then for defect management, we have tools like 90s, Bugzilla, Jira, which can help you to report the issues and also keep track of the issues till they are fixed, and till they are fixed, and then you can close them. Now the next one is cross-browser testing. Now why cross-browser testing is important? Now, now say suppose there is a particular application which you have developed and you want to check it on different platforms. So it is not possible that you will have all those devices, all the platforms. So in this case, tools like Browser Stack, Sourcelab, they are very helpful because they provide you an interface wherein you can work with real devices, wherein you can check for those browsers and those platforms. Then NVDA, a tool which you can use for accessibility testing. Then load testing and performance testing. Now, why this is important? Say, suppose you have developed an e-commerce site and you want to see like how your site will function or how your application will function when a lot of users come on the site at the same time. So in such kind of testing, it is important that we do in such kind of scenarios, it is important that we do load testing and performance testing. So for this, we can use Apache JMeter or load runner. Then you all might have already heard about Selenium. It is very famous. So if you want to do any UI testing, basically if you want to check the user interface, how it goes, the flow, then tools like Selenium IDE and Apply tools, they are very helpful because they on one side can make sure that whatever say you the scripts which you record, you can play them anytime and see that the functionalities are not broken. Then second main important is API testing. API testing is very trending nowadays and it's going to have a good scope. So some of the tools which we can use for API are Postman and SOAP UI. Now for mobile app testing, we have APM. So it is not that these are the early limited tools which are available. There are like many. If you go and search on the internet, you will get a lot of many different options. But these are just a few like tools which I have listed. Now mobile app versus website testing. Now what is a web app? Okay, before I go towards a mobile app, okay, let us understand like the different kind of applications which are there. So we have the web application and the mobile application. So web application is something wherein you can access it on the desktop by using your browser. Whereas mobile application, it is further divided into three categories. One is mobile web application, then native apps and hybrid apps. Now, what is mobile apps? Now what is mobile web application? So mobile web application is something wherein you can again access it on your mobile devices by using a browser. Now, what are native apps? Native apps are something which are, already pre-installed on the devices on your smart mobiles and all. So those are not required to be downloaded. So those are called as native apps. And hybrid apps are those which you download and you install them. So now what is the importance of mobile apps in today's world? So if you see if you see the rapid growth in technology, mobile phones are used very frequently. It is not like, how it was years back when we were small, wherein, the mobile was used for the main basic purpose for calling and messaging. So that was like years back, wherein our parents might have not even thought that mobiles will be used for a lot of other things. So now, if we go to see nowadays, each and every member in the family they have the smartphones. Not like before, wherein 2-3 families used to share like one mobile. That is not there like anymore. Now, why? mobiles, smartphones are so trending. Like first of all, because of their portability, you can carry them. You can just put it in your pocket and go wherever you want. So this has actually led to mobile apps, wherein you can uh, you can download different apps on your mobile and you can use them into your day-to-day life. So some of the few applications which I can name is like online shopping, then education, social media apps. So coming to online shopping, so the benefits which are provided by online shopping is that you don't have to visit like any store physically. You just have to download the app, your favorite app, check for your item, check which color. If you want to check for some clothes, you can select a color. If you want to check for some gadgets, you can just type in the gadget name and you'll get a list of gadgets. So you- it's you don't you save a lot of time, wherein you don't have to go to those stores physically. You can just select the item, choose whichever you want. You can place the order, and in few days that order will be delivered to your house. Then the second application is food delivery and taxi services. So coming to food delivery, nowadays, like everyone is so much busy in their lifestyle that we hardly get time to cook. So these apps are very helpful, wherein you don't even have to cook. Like if you don't get time to cook, you can just go to those apps, see for some of your favorite food items, order it, and they will be directly delivered to your doorstep. Then next is like banking apps. So banking apps, again, they have made a lot of difference in the life of people. You don't have to visit the bank to do each and every transaction. If you have the app on your mobile, you can check your personal account anytime. You can do the transactions. You can even pay the bills, electricity bills, water bills, which in turn it has reduced a lot of, you know, a lot of time which you normally spend standing in the queue. Next comes the e-ticketing. So e-ticketing is again very helpful, wherein you don't have to go to any railway station or even to the theaters and book for your tickets. You can directly do it using your app. You can check the availability of the seats and you can book your seat. So this is how these apps have helped us a lot. Now coming to entertainment apps, if you see, like nowadays the world, most of the people, they are very stressed. They have a lot of tensions in their life, so you need something which can entertain you. So these apps, using these apps, you can watch videos, you can watch movies, you can even listen to songs, which in turn it helps you to reduce a lot of stress. Then reading and educational, again, uh, as education was before, like it used to be like, if say we want to join any classes, it was only at particular time wherein we can join it. If we were not free during that time, it means we cannot join the class. So that issue is solved, like to quite a long extent, because now we are having online classes. You can even do courses online, wherein you can choose your own schedule. You can do when you are available to take the course. Again, even if you want to read any books during your leisure time, you don't have to buy them or carry those burden with you physically. You just have to buy it online, download it, and you can read it like whenever you want, whenever you are free. Then social media apps and video calling. Here, if you see these social media apps and video calling, they have helped people to come closer. They have helped to build that relationship and to maintain that bond. So these apps have changed lifestyle. They have made life a lot easier. Now, what are the types of testing which are involved for mobile apps? So coming to the types of testing, now we have this web application and we have mobile apps. So there are like certain kinds of testing which we also consider for mobile app, like some of the functionality testing it is required. But apart from that, there are other types of testing also which are very important when it comes to mobile app. So just to name a few, one is device configuration. So in device configuration, what are the scenarios you are going to test? So in device testing, you check like, for different types of devices, different screen size. It also, you also the processor, it plays a very important role because it is not that all devices use the same processor. Different devices, they use different processor, they have different storage, different battery capacity, different screen resolution. So it is very important that whenever we do mobile app testing, we consider all these scenarios to cover for device configuration. Next comes the network configuration. So network, if you go to see, we are having 2G, 3G, 4G. Then we also have, sometimes we also use hotspot, we use LAN. So we need to make sure how the application functions when it is connected to all these different kinds of networks. Then next is the installation testing. So installation testing is something wherein you check how whether you are able to install the app, if you are whether you are able to uninstall it or upgrade the app. Also, other things which are important is that you also have to see like when you are installing the app, does it really take that much of memory space which it promised, or does it take more than it required? Also, when you uninstall the app, you have to check whether that memory which was utilized by that app, whether it is released or it is still, reserved for that app. So these are like, some scenarios which are very important. Also, if you see like, sometimes when the OS gets upgraded, we need to make sure that our app is still working, that we are still able to upgrade the app or install on the upgraded version. Now next is the interrupter testing. So this I will say is very important for mobile app testing. So what is interrupter testing? So interrupter testing is something wherein say you are using your app and you get a call. So how will your app function in that case? So so a few scenarios which I can list for interrupter testing are when you get any incoming call or outgoing call or some messages, or if you get any notifications from different app, how is your app working? Also, it is not that you will be using only one app on your mobile. There will be many different applications, at least three applications which will be like open on your mobile. So when you switch between those applications, is your app still working? Is it stable or does it crash? Also, when you say suppose your battery is low, are you still able to use your app? Or when you are using your app and you try to connect it to the charger or you unplug it, how does your app function? So these are the scenarios which needs to be covered when it comes to interrupter testing. Then the next one is localization testing. So what is localization testing? So in localization testing, we mostly check for the languages which are used by the people belonging to a particular region. Also, say if there is one app which is used internationally, as a user, I will want that app to function according to my needs. So the main aim of localization testing is to make sure that it gives you the feel that that application, it is developed basically to meet your needs. Like, say if you are from US, or if you are from Bangladesh, or if you are from Goa. So whenever I'm using that app needs to show me the proper timing of my current time zone where I am. Then even if I'm checking for any items, that app needs to show me the price in my currency and not using the currency of some other region. So these things are very important, because if say I'm using the app from India, and if it shows me the currency in some other state, uh, like dollars or some other currency, I might not feel like using that app. I will see if I can get a better app which fulfills my needs, which will make my work easier as a user. Now, what is performance testing? So, in performance testing, we mostly check for device performance, network performance, server performance. So, device performance, as I mentioned, when it comes to device performance, we have to see how our device will function when we install the app. Is it that when we use the app, is it taking a lot of, is it consuming a lot of battery? Because if that is the case, then you need to, improve it. Then network, when you are switching between different networks, how does your app behave? How does it perform? Does it crash when there is a switch? Also, when there is a network loss, or say suppose you lose network and you were doing some transaction or something, how does it behave? Does it lose the data? Are the packets lost, or does it give you any notification? So all these things, it needs to be checked. Okay. Now, what do you think are the qualities of a good tester? So, these are like some of the main qualities which I have listed over here. So, it is when it comes to software testing, it is very important that we have technical skills as well as soft skills. So, when it comes to technical skills, what are the qualities? What are the skills? So, you need, as for technical skills, you need to have a very strong knowledge about software development life cycle or software testing life cycle. Also, you need to have a basic knowledge about database and SQL queries, because as a software, you also have to do some database testing, wherein these skills, they are really helpful. Then the next is knowledge of test management and bug tracking tools, because this is something which you use it like every day. So you need to have a thorough knowledge about test management, how to create, how to maintain it. Also a very good knowledge about bug life cycle, how it works and how the defect is supposed to be processed. Then you was as I mentioned before, software tester also needs to be aware about few of the testing tools. Then uh, having knowledge about any scripting language. So this is something optional, but then it is very important nowadays, because this is something which will help you to move towards automation testing. And I won't say like, you should know about all the scripting language. You can start with one language first, and then as you get experience, as you as you get experience, you can go on to the next scripting language. Now, why soft skills are required? So it is not, as I mentioned, that software testers are not just supposed to test the application and report the bugs. No. Apart from that, they are also supposed to communicate to the development team and to the client. So if you don't know how to communicate the bug, or if you don't know how to communicate your suggestions to the client, Even if your suggestion is really worth considering, it will not be considered because you are lacking into your interpersonal skills. So this is somewhere, communication and interpersonal skills, they play a very important role. Then comes critical thinking. As a software, it is very important that you need to think out of the box. It is not that, you have to think, you have to early think how the module which is assigned to you will work. No, apart from that, you need to think outside like, okay, which are the other things which can affect the module. Then time management and organization skills. So why this is important? So as a software tester or as a QA, it is not that you will be working only on one project. There will be like, multiple projects which you will be working on. And there can be times wherein, you will be having a lot of workload. So how are you going to manage this? So this is where, your time management and organizational skills play a very important role, which will help you to handle this task. Then again, analytical and problem solving skills and passion. So if you don't have passion for testing, you will not, try to grow yourself into this testing field. Okay, so these are like a few tips which I had like put for y'all. So if you want to improve your analytical skills or problem solving skills, then there are some apps or some games which y'all can play like Sudoku, puzzle, chess, because these are some brain games which it will make you to think. Then also you need to be very observant. And when I say observant, it is not that say if any problem comes, it is not that you give a solution and that is done. No, apart from giving a solution, you also need to know how that thing works, because until and unless you don't know how that thing works, you will not be able to provide a better solution for that particular problem. Okay, so these are like a few sites which I have listed, which you all can refer if you all are interested into some testing material, software testing material, and Guru 99. So these are like sites which have a lot of testing data, a lot of QA material which can be used by the freshers if they are trying to answer any QA interviews, and also if they want to gain any knowledge about QA, then you all can refer W3C schools for SQL queries. And solo learn. Okay, solo learn is something, there are like courses. It is not like those you will get certificates and you show those certificates and you will get a job. No, it's not like that. It is basically for you wherein you can answer those courses so that you are confident about yourself that okay, I have a very good knowledge about this particular subject. So yes.
Thank you, Suallen. Okay, guys. So we are open for questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Don't miss out this opportunity to interact with our speaker. Please feel free to ask, guys. Just Suallen, we'll wait for some time, like a minute, and we'll see if we get any questions.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, Suallen. So there is one question. What is the scope for manual testing? Are there any opportunities for manual testing?
Yes, there are like a lot of opportunities for manual testing, but as I mentioned, automation testing is very trending, and it is not that we will only have automation testing. Both these things they goes hand to hand. So you need to have a knowledge of both type of testing. And I will even you can, yeah, there are like opportunities for for manual testing, but I will suggest apart from manual testing, you need to go one step further, that is automation testing, because that will really help you to boost your career.
Okay. Yes, well, then there is another question. Are there any opportunities in SJI with QA?
Uh, yes, we do have opportunities, but it depends on the vacancy. I mean, the requirements and if there are any vacancies. So, right now, I won't be like, I don't think so. I will be able to answer this question properly to you, because I need to check with our QA team if our QA tech leads, if they need any resources for QA in our company.
Okay, guys, you can check on our SJ Innovation website career section. We keep on posting about the openings and opportunities with respect to development or QA on the website. So if there are any opportunities or any vacancies, you can always check there. We keep on updating about the vacancies over there. Okay, Swellen. So another question: how to move from a developer to a tester? Where should I start?
Okay, this is a very nice question, because if you want to move from a developer to a QA, so if one good point over here is that as a developer, you already have knowledge about programming, which can help you a lot. So yes, if you want to move into software testing, then I will suggest you can have an experience of six months to 1 year into development, and then go into software testing, because within this duration you will create a very strong knowledge about programming and also some scripting languages.
Then the next question is, what technology knowledge is expected from freshers who wants to have career in QA, especially automation testing?
Okay, if they want to have into automation, so I will suggest they need to know about some of the basics tools like Selenium, then also some scripting languages which are available. Also, some tools which can be used for automating mobile apps and all. It's not that you all have to be very good about, you all need to have a very strong knowledge about it, but having a having an enough idea to start on it is good enough as a fresher.
The next question is, ma'am, can you tell me is quality control and quality assurance same or different?
No, they are two different things. So quality control is something which is mostly used in I will say pharma companies. They are the ones who use those terms like quality control. When it comes to software testing, the term what we use is quality assurance.
Okay. One more question is there. Is coding knowledge required to become a tester?
No, it is not important. It is not compulsory that you should have coding knowledge to become a tester. But if you want to grow up further into automation, then yes, you can, start learning like some scripting languages.
So Alan, we'll wait for half a minute. Let's see if we get more questions.
Yeah, sure.
Swallen, I think so. There are no more questions, so we can conclude. Yeah. So thank you so much, Swallen. It was
Yeah.
really a very informative session. I'm very sure you have covered most of the things which our viewers need to know if they are planning to start their career in software testing. So thank you so much.
Yeah. And
Uh,
thank you,
yeah.
Sanjit, and thank you for all the attendees for giving your time for this webinar.
Also to all the viewers, please follow us on our social media handles because we keep on posting and we keep on updating about our latest webinars, and also we keep on posting about the latest tech blogs. So if you are interested knowing more about technology, please follow our social media handles. And also, I have already mentioned regarding the vacancies. We keep on posting about the vacancies or requirements or the opportunities. May it be in development or in QA or as a front-end designer or developer. So please check out our career section on SJ Innovation website. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.